Hi. Good morning, everyone. It sure has been like, at least a minute, maybe a few. Yeah, it's been since, not last Thursday, but the Thursday before it, for a lot of really good reasons. Oh wow, the week that I've had. I experienced, like, probably the closest, I've ever been in my entire life to, what it must be like to be, an artist in an anime studio, where, you sleep maybe 4 hours per night, and then you wake up, and then you keep working until you maybe pass out from exhaustion, and then do it again. Yeah, oh boy, what a week it has been. It's a whole journey that started on, I guess it technically started on the Friday, like the previous Friday, where, I had experienced the most stress I've ever felt in my entire life for approximately 5 days straight. It was great stuff. I am free now, temporarily, but I still have an essay to write, like a paper that's due in about like 11 days, so I got time. And I have an exam on Friday. But I get to sort of exist today, sort of freely, and after the stream I'm gonna go get the Christmas tree, so that's cool. Now, back to the story of how bad this last week was. Truly awful experience, okay? I'll walk you through it day by day, step by step. Last Friday, not 2 days ago, the Friday before that. That was the Friday where I woke up. I was like, wow, I do not have a video for Sunday. Let me do that. I woke up, I recorded the video, took like maybe 6 hours, and then I edited the video, which took maybe another 3 hours, and then I was like, okay, cool, we're good. I didn't feel particularly stressed at that point because I didn't feel like the assignments that were due were particularly difficult to finish. I had a week for both those assignments. One was in my software testing class where I had to create a server, like a web-based server application for a card game called Crazy Eights, with a couple of extras thrown in there. And then I had to create testing with it. Now, the main problem with that is I barely passed the web dev course. So, I don't know JavaScript really at all. And so the prof gave an option. He's like, okay, you can use JavaScript, or you can like learn this entirely new other thing and then like do it this way, and you get an extra 15%. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and learn it this extra other way that I've never heard of before, using a framework called Spring Boot. That's what it's called. Don't worry about the specifics. If you're a computer science nerd, you'll hear the words Spring Boot, Selenium, JUnit, and Java and know what they all mean. And if you're not, don't worry about it. But yeah, it was painful because I had to learn how to use things that I've never used before. So day one, Saturday. I actually, okay, it's even better because I went to bed earlier on the Friday. I went to bed at 9:30 p.m. on a Friday, so that I would get enough sleep, I could wake up the next morning and start working. That's how serious I was about trying to get this done. I was aiming for getting it done by the end of the weekend, but I didn't know if that was like a realistic thing I could do. I was just gonna try it anyway, so I woke up like 8 a.m., probably earlier actually. I think I woke up at like 6:30 or like 7 that morning. I started working at 8. I did not stop working for the entire day until around, I think it was like 10 p.m. So 8 to 10 p.m., I was grinding away on this project, and you know what I had by the end of that day? Nothing. I had nothing done. I was just trying to figure out how to use any of it. Like, I don't know how to do web development. I don't know how to build web applications. What the fuck is Spring Boot? I don't know. I don't know how to use Selenium. I don't know what any of this stuff is. So I spent the entire day on Saturday, like 14 hours, trying to learn how to do these things, and then I went to sleep. That was all I did on the Saturday. I just tried to figure out how to do things, and when I say that's the only thing I did, I mean literally. I ate, I went to the washroom, and I worked, and that was it. That's the only stuff I did that day, and then I went to sleep. And then I woke up the next day and did the same thing again, except I actually had some stuff. That was another 14 hours on the Sunday. I worked on that project. And then I was maybe like 30% done by the end of Sunday. So I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning, Monday. I skipped class. I just kept grinding on the assignments. I just kept on going. And that was like that for Tuesday as well. Now, let me tell you why it was so important for me to do this assignment. We're talking about the absolute hell of a week I've had so far. Actually, not so far, like last week, yeah. So the reason why, like you would think it's not worth putting in 50 hours for one class assignment, right? It can't be worth that. But the thing is, if I didn't do it, it's an automatic fail of the course. I would have failed the course with a 74% in it. I want you to take that part in, okay? A 74% I would have failed the course. Actually, no, it would have been, let me think about that again, 73%, sorry. I would have failed that course with a 73 in it if I didn't do that assignment. Because if you fail one assignment, you fail the entire course automatically. You can imagine not knowing how to do anything, starting the assignment from scratch, not knowing how to do even the basic stuff you need to do to complete the assignment, and having the entire course resting on it generates an incredible amount of stress. Like an insane amount. Like, I made it sound like I was sleeping 8 hours a night. I was sleeping closer to like 5 or 6. Because when you're stressed, when you're super stressed, what that does to your sleep is you end up, it's harder to get to sleep because you're stressed. You are stressed while asleep, so you end up like, you're not getting as decent quality of sleep, as well as waking up in the middle of the night because you're just that stressed. So that went on for like 4 days, 4 nights or something. I was so incredibly stressed that like I could barely sleep, even when I was trying to force myself to sleep. My heart rate was like elevated for like several days straight because of how stressed I was during that period. In the end, I managed to finish it. And the thing is, with projects in this course, it's like, if you do everything, you're basically guaranteed a 100%, but if you miss one thing, you're basically failing. That's just how it is. Like, there really isn't an in-between. Either you're getting full marks or you're failing. Because you have to do so much framework stuff. You don't get partial marks for, like, making the application run. You don't get partial marks for making it do what it's supposed to do. You only get marks for passing the tests. So you have to make the whole thing, make sure it works, and then make the tests that will give you the marks. And the tests require the whole application first, so you can spend 50 hours and get like a 0%, or you could spend 52 and get 100, because that's just how it is. Yes, this is about the professor from hell again. This is a story I'm gonna tell my grandchildren, alright? Like, I was considering, like, this course was so bad that I was considering, like, going to visit my high school as, like, you know, as someone in computer science to talk to, like, a computer science class, and being like, listen, if you feel like losing several days, as like several nights of sleep on end, then go ahead. Go ahead and go into computer science. But if you're a sane person, maybe you shouldn't, you know? Like, I was thinking I would warn future generations about how terrible of an experience this was. I have told every person I know who has not yet taken the course to not take the course. It has, I'm not exaggerating, it has taken weeks off of my life. I think like every night that I got a poor sleep with that amount of stress in the background, I have lost several days off of my lifespan from that. I've probably grown 6 gray hairs just over those 4 days. It was, I cannot stress how terrible that was. I finished it on Tuesday, after 4 straight days of like 14-hour days of working. Yeah, and then, it's a final boss of uni. I mean, it literally is, it's a 4th year course, so I only have to take like 3 or 4 4th year computer science courses, the rest are like electives. How many people dropped the class? Okay, so in the first lecture, the lecture hall was filled, and I think there was probably around 200 people in the course. When we started. And the last lecture that I attended, which was the last one for the course, there were like 30 people in there. Now, a lot of people end up not going to the later classes, but it's also no surprise that like immediately after the first assignment, at least half the class dropped it. Because like the first assignment was like, I thought it was going to be the assignment that weeds out the serious people from those who just need to get a credit. Now, I am one of those people that just needs to get a credit. I thought it was just going to be like an assignment that they hit you with so that the people who aren't serious are going to drop the course. I thought everything after that is going to be easier. No, it was just getting started. It was just getting started. The first assignment was... Okay, it wasn't the easiest assignment, but like it was 35 hours would be nothing compared to the last assignment. Who even has 50 hours to put into an assignment? Oh yeah, it was even better because that last assignment, he gave us 2 weeks to do it. He like put out all the requirements 2 weeks before the end of the semester, and he's like, all right, here's your last assignment. Yeah, just spend 50 hours out of 2 weeks. Go ahead, spend 25 hours a week for one of your courses. Yeah, okay. Alright, thanks, dude. Well, I didn't expect it to be easy. It's a 4th year computer science course. I can't really expect those to be easy at this point. But still, I didn't think it would be like a total 150-hour course, like, investment, you know? I didn't think I was gonna be in there for the long haul. Yeah, so like, as a lesson to be learned, don't go to college. Alright. It doesn't sound too bad until you realize you have 3 other courses. It's actually 4. It's actually 4 at my university. You take 5 per semester. I'm taking a reduced course load so I can also work at the same time. The only reason I passed this course is because I'm taking 3 courses instead of the usual 5. If I took the usual 5, well, I simply would have not passed that course. Like, I would have dropped out of that course already because that would be too much. So, yeah, that was the experience until Tuesday. That was the whole experience up until and including Tuesday. After that, I had a second assignment, also due on the Friday, which was 2 days ago. It was a game development project. Partner project. Aren't those fun? Love partner projects because they are the biggest barrier towards being able to complete anything in a short period of time. Basically just grinding away. Most of it was like kind of done. I don't want to get too much into the details of the game design project because like it just makes me sad. I probably passed it. It's a whole thing. A partner project? Well, okay, so like me and this other guy in the same course, we had to make a game. We decided to make... Okay, so it was a 3D game, and it's less of a game, more of like a walking simulator because I was learning how to do stuff with 3D models, and texturing, and lighting, and shadows, and all the great math stuff that goes into games like these ones, you know? Like, hey, how does this lighting work? What are these shadows? You know what these shadows are? It's probably a combination of the ambient lighting, and then you have like a lighting source, which is likely in this direction up here. And then the reason why I see shadows is that they're not actually shadows per se. What they're more likely to be is just ambient lighting, and then the rest is going to be lit up by the directional lighting. Isn't that cool? Yeah, sorry. Now I can't look at games the same because I have to... Because now I like think of the way that everything is done in games. It's a little bit of a curse, but anyway, yeah. Me and my partner, we made a noir, like a 1930s detective film, like noir walking sim. It had like grayscale shading, like street lights. It was like a street with like buildings on either side with like street lights, and there was like rain and stuff. Cool effects. Anyway, yeah, that took like another 8 hours per day out of the rest of my week. So that would be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I spent like 8 hours. So just to recap, that would be the previous Friday, spent like 10 hours working on a video. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday were like 14 hours a day. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was like 8 hours a day. And then yesterday, I actually did decide to take a day off. And professor in that course is just a gamer who expects fun games. No, like he said it's totally fine if you don't have any gameplay in your game because the whole point was learning about the 3D modeling, the lighting, the textures, and all that. It was supposed to be a framework from which you could add gameplay, but you have at least an environment. So out of the trenches for the most part. I wouldn't say I'm out of the trenches, but you know, I went over the top and I went to the next trench, you know. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just in a second trench. Gained a little bit of ground. Yeah, I'm not really out of the trenches until I am done with the one exam I have and then a paper that I have to write, and I can probably finish that all off by like the 20th, maybe. Yeah, after the 20th, I'll be out of the trenches, so that'll be good. Still like kind of in the trenches for now. Anyway, hopefully that was an entertaining like 20-minute story. How about we play Victoria 3? Speaking of trenches. Yeah. I really had to share that experience because, like, no one else quite understands the pain I've gone through with that course, with this, like, the whole week, the whole, like, 70 hours that I worked this past week. It's just been, yeah, drained my soul a little bit, knocked a few weeks off the end of my lifespan, maybe. Yeah. But hey, at least I got to give some of my friends an early warning on which courses not to take.